Oh, am I supposed to do Command C to start the cloud?
Yeah,
Sorry. Because it's
Command
just
Shift
dinging.
C.
Command Shift C. Oh, that's why.
Oh dear. There we go. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the last Mac training program lesson for Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. I'm your instructor, Chanel Allen, and we will conclude by finishing up on mail. But first, our iBug announcements. On Wednesday, which is tomorrow, we have iBug Android Insight from 7 to 8 p.m. If you either own an Android smart device or even one of those lovely Lady A's, Echoes, or other things that have her in it, the Kindle, whatever, you are welcome to join us. And Ava Caruth and others will definitely do their best to answer your questions. On Thursday evening, beginning at 8 o'clock, we have start our Trekkie Talk, and we are beginning the first season of Star Trek Discovery, episodes 1 and 2. And Friday, I am excited. I was absent when this announcement was made, but for iBug Night at the Virtual Movies, we will be showing the movie The Sound of Music. Oh, I could just sing along to that on the whole movie. I love it. Anyway, that's enough about me loving the movie. But um, that begins at 7:30 with the pre-movie social, followed by the movie at 8, and discussion at 10. So I hope you can join us for that. All right, so now we have some questions from last week to review. Let me get those ready here. And, okay, come on, Braille display. You can cooperate. Oh, okay, and we will go ahead and allow people to unmute. And here we go. So, question number 1. How do you show or hide? Well, this is not exactly the question number 1 on the file. These are random. But how do you show or hide the mailboxes list? And what other window components can be shown or hidden? Um, let's see. There we go. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. Did you hear my question? Did I accidentally mute myself? No.
This is Jason.
No,
Okay. So, would you like to answer the question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear you.
perfect. Um, well, I think that's wrong. So there's that kind of a toolbar where you can get into to see like the all inboxes, and then we do a right arrow to expand them,
Right.
and then a left arrow to close it. Is that kind of the general gist
Kind
that you're getting at?
of.
Okay.
So who else would like to
this
maybe
is Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy, go ahead.
So we couldn't unmute for a second there. It said
I
the house.
noticed that. It's like, okay, the day Sonya doesn't show up, I mess up, but that's okay.
That's all right. So it's like a Command Option T, I think, or maybe it's just Command T to hide the toolbar.
Yep.
And you can hide the mailboxes with VO Shift M, I think, and then go down to the hide mailboxes.
Okay. So, it is to hide the toolbar, it is Command Option T. To hide the favorites, it is Command Option Shift H, or in other words, all of these can be found in the View menu. And the answer to the first question, how do you hide or show the mailboxes list? That is Command Shift M. Yes,
Right.
Command Shift M. So there you go. And okay, so here's a question about navigation. How do you navigate the messages list? And what are commands to move to the top or bottom of the list?
This is Marion.
Yes, Marion. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, I'm sorry I came in a couple minutes late.
That's fine. That's just
This one
fine.
I know, yay. You just
Awesome.
have to use the arrow keys up or down, and
Yep.
then command up arrow gets you to the top of the list, and command down arrow gets you to the bottom of the list.
Yep. Or if that doesn't work, sometimes you have to press Command Option up and Command Option down. It's a little bit more finicky in Mail. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Awesome. All right. And I hope you're feeling a little better.
Thank you, a little bit.
Okay. How do you open and read a message? And then once you read the message, what command do you press to close the message?
This is Nancy.
Yes, Nancy.
You can use the VOJ to jump into a message, or you can use the Enter key to
Yep.
open a message. And to close it, you use Command W to close the window.
Yep, that is correct. All right. Name some of the actions you can perform on or for a message. And what are some ways to access those options?
This is Rita.
Yes, go ahead, Rita.
Okay. The toolbar, VOM, and you right arrow over to, look at what your actions, in Mailbox, like to delete the trash or I use that a lot when I can't remember. And then Command R to reply, Command Shift R to reply to all, Command Shift F to forward, Command Shift D to send.
Yep. All right. Yeah, so basically, again, there's no need to use the toolbar, but you can if you want, certainly. The context menu is your friend, so you can do VO Shift M, or like you were saying, Rita, you can use keyboard shortcuts, or you could go into the message menu in the menu bar, message or mailbox, I suppose, because we didn't talk too much about doing stuff with mailboxes, but you can create a mailbox, create a smart mailbox. Again, I don't really use that because I rely on Gmail, but yeah, that's the idea. So you can mark messages read and unread. You can move them. Those are some other actions you can take. All right, so how do you read individual messages in a thread?
There's Jason.
Yes, Jason, go ahead.
If you're on the first, or I guess if it's collapsed, you just do a right arrow and then you can scroll down.
Yes. Very good. Down arrow to
and
the
that
message.
was very helpful.
What?
I said that was very helpful. I had a complicated way of doing it before.
Okay. All right. All right. So great. What does Voiceover do when Use Column Layout in the View menu is unchecked?
This is Nancy.
Yes, Nancy, go ahead.
I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think that's where it reads a little bit of the message to you.
Yep.
And then you don't have to open it to read it. It just reads a little bit of it.
Yeah, you can open it if it seems interesting or you want to read more, but it's my way of going through lots. Oh, yes. And I actually do have a mailbox, by the way, with like 1,000 or more emails. It's from all the emails I forwarded from my Orbit Reader and Braille lists, or filtered, and I haven't gotten around to clearing that one out yet. So there you go.
Oh, I feel so much better knowing that you have thousands of messages.
Yes. Things filters are great, but then you forget, yes. All
I had
right.
to sing to you for a second.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So, what are two options for moving messages?
This is Marion.
Yes, Marion.
So if you have mailboxes in the favorites bar, I'm going out on a limb here.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you're in an email and you hit Command and the number 1, it will just move that email to the first mailbox in your favorites bar, and then numbers 2, 3, 4, 5 going down through the favorites bar.
Yep.
And then the other way would be using the the menu bar at the top, or probably the context menu gives you a move option.
It does, yes. So, when you're using the favorites bar, you yourself can actually go view the messages in a favorites mailbox with command and the number, but to move a message there, it is command, control, and the number. And I maybe didn't make that very clear.
No, I was guessing.
No, that was great. That was very
Okay,
good. You remembered a
thanks.
lot from last week. Awesome.
Thanks.
Yep, and then you'll find the move to menu in the context menu. My little trick for getting there was to, do VO Shift M and then up arrow since it's near the bottom, or in the message menu. So there you go. Excellent. And how do you navigate between mailboxes and messages lists?
This is Nancy. If no one else is going to answer,
All right, go ahead.
I feel like I'm hogging them all. Well, you can use the VOJ to go from, or you can use the right arrow.
Yeah, VO right.
VO right arrow.
Very good. Awesome. All right. So, we are ready to go on to our lesson. The questions were a little bit shorter.
This is Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Can I ask one clarification thing from
Sure.
the audio?
Sure.
I noticed a new command. You said VO command and then left or right arrow. That looks like the quick nav router with quick nav off.
It is, yes.
Okay. I was intrigued, but I couldn't figure it out on my Google. So
Yeah. No, that is it. That is another way to access the rotor, and it's great because you can access it, even in text edit and stuff. You don't have to turn the quick nav on, so
okay,
it's
perfect.
very handy that way.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to. We are going to finish talking about mail. So last time, we went over viewing messages, how to open, read them, went over some actions you can take, went over some things in the view menu, and explored the mailboxes and kind of the structure, how you can expand and collapse mailboxes just like you can expand and collapse threads. So tonight we're going to conclude actually looking at messages by doing a search in the way I know how. It may be a bit clunky, but we'll go through it. And then I will walk you through the fields in sending a message, as well as including attachments and viewing attachments. And then we'll go through adding a couple of accounts and a few of the mail preferences settings. It actually doesn't take too long because some of the things are pretty short. So let me just share my audio. And
you have started.
We will open mail by going to the dock, VOD.
Zoom us, open,
MA,
mail,
enter.
Zoom us, system dialog, mail, inbox.
All right, so we're going to search for two messages. One just to look in the inbox or the current folder we're in, and the other one to actually look in, have it search all mailboxes. And there's a trick you kind of have to do in order to tell it to search all mailboxes. You have to show the favorites bar. That's the only way I've figured that out. But first, in general, to get to the search, we will type Command Option F.
Mailbox search text.
And I'm going to,
Blank.
let's see, type in, I'm just going to look for the word Ibug in the main inbox. So I,
Menu.
capital B, capital U, capital
I do.
G.
Ibug.
And notice it said menu. There is a menu. We could down arrow, and it could filter the results in by certain things.
Santai Rao.
So from Sandhya.
Subject contains Ibug. Ibug New Year's Eve Bash 2020. Ibug Winter 2021
so
Mac course.
It's kind of giving us some messages or subjects
Ibug New Year's
here.
Eve subject contains Ibug Holiday tab. Ibug Holiday Ibug. Attachment name contains Ibug.
All right,
Ibug.
so there's quite a
Ibug
lot.
Holiday
We
talent.
could just
Ibug Winter 2000. Ibug New Year's Eve subject
go
contains
back up
Ibug.
to up arrow, subject contains, or you don't even really need to use this filter. Next time I'm not even going to use it. So I'll press enter.
I do. Subject Ibug.
And the way to get to the results,
Insertion edit.
VOJ is your friend, and you may need to press it a few times. For some reason in whatever the system, Big Sur, it seems like I have to press it even just to get out of the search, or we could uninteract and then VO right. But let's just VOJ, and you may need to do it like 3 times.
Search.
Yeah, so there's
Search
1.
mailbox in mailboxes table.
There's 2.
In messages table. Unread.
And we're in the
Ibug Mac group.
messages.
Ibug Mac Talk. Ibug Mac and Talk conference call. Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021, 7:00 p.m. 8:30
right.
p.m. Number cal reminder.
All right, there's a little reminder about the conference
Reminder.
call. Sandhya and Michael will send out a reminder as well, but
Inbox.
that's one I've created. All right, so I can
Chanel.
go to the top, as always, Command Option Up Arrow.
Unread. Marion Wild Gruber. Read 2 message conversation.
And-
Collapsed. Jason and Judy Potter via groups IO. Ibug Mac Talk.
That's
Making a
another
shortcut
Mac
keyboard
and
3
Talk.
message conversation. Collapsed. Ava, Keith and Santai Rao. Ibug Trekkie Talk for March 18.
All right, so these things all mention
March 7th.
Ibug. All right, let's go back to the search.
Dear Ibug Trek.
And this time,
Mailbox search. Subject. Ibug menu button. Content
Let's,
selected. Search text field.
do backspace.
Inbox. Chanel 84 messages.
Okay, well, it cleared that out, so I might have to go back to that search, Command Option F.
Mailbox search. Search.
And then I will type in
Blank.
text edit recording.
Menu.
Here's a way to maybe find what might happen to some of those emails
Text edit.
that it's very easy to misplace with all the stuff that comes in. So I'm just going to type in text edit recording,
Recording.
and I'm going to press enter. I'm not going to bother with using the filter.
Text edit recording. Selected.
But I am going to get out of this. I'm going to uninteract
Out of toolbar.
and VO right,
Favorites bar. Group.
interact inside the favorites bar.
In favorites bar. Group. 10 items. Toggle mailbox list. Button.
So you can toggle the mailbox list in the favorites bar. That's another way.
Search.
All right. And because we're searching, it shows the word search. That's a little bit different. When the search isn't there, you won't hear it say search.
All. Toggle button.
So we have all.
Inbox. Chanel. Selected. Toggle button.
So inbox Chanel is selected. And so if you wanted to search all, or if you wanted to search a specific mailbox in your favorites, you'll need to VO space on that. I don't know how to make it search anything outside of the favorites, but you can in mail preferences set it to search junk and trash and whatever. But I'm assuming any other folder you'd want it to search. If you didn't want it to do all, you'd probably have to add to favorites. Searching is not something I do that often, so I'm not as familiar with it as I could be. Excuse
All.
me.
Toggle button.
So I'm going to VO space on all,
Selected.
and I'm just going to VOJ
In mailboxes table.
and
All
VOJ
mailboxes. In
again.
messages table. Top hits. Row 1.
Top hits. Okay, so down arrow.
Chanel Marie Allen. Ibug Mac training text edit recording and questions. March 2nd,
There
2021.
we go. So then as always, we could press enter
Ibug Mac training text
to
edit
look at the
recording.
message.
Here is the text.
Okay.
After 1. Waters after link. HTTP.
There's the link, and then as last week we talked about VO space on the link, and there it will bring up the web page. So, as with other messages, I will close with Command W,
Close. Searching all mailboxes found.
and I want to return this view
Chanel
back
Marie
to
Allen.
normal because one thing it does
Row to
when
cell
you
set.
do Command Option F, it shows the toolbar. And it used to automatically show the favorites bar, but now if the favorites bar isn't showing, I have not found a way to specify the search in terms of where it searches, whether it searches the inbox or all. So you do want to have the favorites bar showing, but when you're done, you can hide it if you wish. So I'm just going to do Command Option F.
Mailbox search. Text edit recording. Content selected.
delete.
Inbox. Chanel 84
And now
messages.
we
6.
have returned to normal. If I VO left
Full screen button. Favorites
VO
bar.
right.
Group.
Okay, we're back
Mailboxes.
at the favorites bar. So Command Option
Chanel.
Shift
Hide
H.
favorites bar.
There we go. Now it's back to normal. So as I said, search is a little bit clunky for some. I don't know why. I'd love to know if there's an easier way to do the search, but that is what I know. Okay, let's talk about sending. So I'll show you 2 ways to add people. And then when we're done sending, well, actually, let me just show you now. So one thing Mail can show you is a list of your previous recipients. And to do that, you want to find the window menu in the menu bar.
Menu bar. Apple.
So over to window.
Mail. File. Edit. View. Mailbox. Message. Format.
I guess I could have just pressed W,
Window.
but wasn't thinking. So down arrow.
Window. Menu. Minimize command. M. Zoom command control. Z. Move
And it's
window
gonna
to
be a
left side of
ways down
screen.
here.
Move window to right side of show previous tab. Dimmed control. Show next tab. Dimmed move tab to new. Merge all with message viewer command 0.
All right. If you accidentally close out the main window with the mailboxes, you can get it back by pressing Command 0 or Command 1. I have sometimes done that. I've meant to press like Command Q and I've pressed Command W. And so I have like empty window or window contains no items. So you can get it back by pressing Command 0 or Command 1.
Photo browser. Previous recipients.
There we go, previous recipients. In future, you could just do VOM, type W, down arrow, and then PR, and you would probably get to this much more quickly. Or if you use this feature often, you could create a keyboard shortcut in the keyboard area of System Preferences under Shortcuts. That's probably way more information than you wanted to know. But anyway, I'll press Enter.
Previous recipients. Previous recipients search window. Search text field.
You can search, but basically you cannot really select an email address out of this, but what you can
Previous
do,
remove from list button.
you can remove somebody from the list.
Add to contacts button.
Or
Dimmed.
add to contacts.
Remove from the
and
previous
it will tell
recipient.
you which ones are in your contacts.
Zoom at bits
Let's see.
groups IO.
I'm going to the
Bits
top.
plus invite plus 1 groups IO. Bits plus and groups IO. In contacts dimmed image.
Okay,
Monique.
there we
The
go.
American Council of the Blind. ACB-community-events plus subscribe at actlists.org. February ACB-community-events-request at actlists.
So if I wanted to add one of these, I could do that.
July
I
2nd,
could,
2020.
go
Remove
to
from list. Add to contacts
add
button.
to contacts, or I could, you could
Remove the
also
previous
select all this list, Command A.
Select all. 190 rows selected.
Oh, wow. All right. And then you could go to remove from list. So that is the previous recipients, and you may find it useful to add people to your contacts. That way, if history gets cleared or something, they will be in your contacts available across all devices. That would be the advantage of adding people. But a lot of these are just email addresses that you might send messages to subscribe or whatever. So anyway, Command W.
Inbox, Chanel 84 messages.
And let's compose a message.
Chanel,
So
16
I've mentioned how Command N.
selected.
All right.
Zoom.
Voiceover. It does not
You are
like to
sharing
honor the
computer-
control key. Okay.
Stop share button.
Oh, goodness. All right. So Command N, that is our universal new command. In mail and messages, it will compose a new message. So no need to go to the toolbar, the menu bar. Text edit, pages, Word, numbers, Keynote, so applications I haven't used, whatever, it'll create a new document. Calendar, a new event, and Finder, it's a new window. So that's a really, really important command to learn and for efficiency. Okay, so I'm going to go back to mail,
Mail.
and we're
Chanel.
going to
Chanel.
press Command
Chanel.
N.
New message. New message. Window. 2. Edit text.
And I'm just going to begin by typing in some names. I'll type the first few letters. So if I do capital H,
Herbie.
E,
B. Allen.
R.
By Allen.
all right, so what if I don't want to use
Text
this
selected.
address? What if there are more names that begin with HER or more addresses? I can down arrow.
Herbie Allen. Management. At Herbie Allen. Herbie. Hernandez Anna Italy, Lady, Dodge.
And then it shows other names. So let's
Completion
go back up to
Herbie Allen,
Herbie.
Selection replaced, embedded.
And let's put in Sandhya. So I could just start typing in S-A.
Sampire now,
Enter.
Selection replaced.
And I know that's the first one
Sampire
it's going
now.
to come up with. Now there's also another button called Add Contacts. If we tab or VO right, we'll get there.
To Add Contacts button.
And I'll VO space. This will bring up like, I don't know what you might almost call an overlay. It's like the Contacts app in miniature, and it goes over the message that you're typing. But we'll press this now, VO space.
Search 3 items, search text field.
And we don't really want to search because we were using the other area to search. So if we VO right,
Group list table.
we have
All
the
contacts.
group list.
Selected.
And if we VO right again,
Empty scroll area.
it says empty scroll area, but if you give it a minute,
Group list table.
unfocus,
Contact
refocus,
list table.
there are people. So I'm going to interact. We need to interact a couple times, and it's easier just to start by interacting from the beginning. And how do I know that? Just by playing. Sometimes there is no set things. So if you're comfortable with always interacting in areas where, you could technically interact, then that's fine. Like you can technically interact in the mailboxes and messages lists. Do I interact there? No, there's no need for me to. But if you want to, sort by a column header or something, maybe you'd need to interact. So it's all a matter of what you want to do. All right.
In contact list table.
I'm going to go and find Rosanna, and because she'll be the closest one. It's not going to say her email though. I can cut voiceover off from that.
Chanel
So,
Marie Cap A. Level
I'm
1.
pressing VO down arrow.
Linda at Affinity Malik Ralph Herbert M. Herbie at Lavana Al Sue Al American Amerigrub Kate Pat Ango Monique and Apple Corp Timothy App Assen Cap Kurt Bacon Sophia Tara Big Mark Bale Dan Bates Rosanna Eva
Oops.
Rosanna Baudry
I always
contacted
pass
out
it.
of
There we
contact
go.
list table.
Oh, oops, and then I got out of the list. We did not
In
want to do
contact
that.
list table.
All right, sorry
Rosa-
about that. So we'll interact with her name
So in Rosanna Baudry
And then VO right.
contact info table.
and then interact.
In contact info table. Email pop-up.
And then we'll do VO
Email
space.
to add contacts.
So I really don't like adding somebody from contacts, but if you're going through your contacts and you're just trying to find people, there's probably a way even to do multiple selection, the same process we did for Finder. I don't know. I have not tried that, but you can add somebody from your contacts. That is an option, and we just did that. All right, so we can tab or VO right arrow. It doesn't matter.
CC edit text.
Okay, CC. I think I showed you that in the view menu, you can hide or show the CC and BCC fields. So if we do VOM,
Menu bar Apple
V,
view.
and
View
down
menu.
arrow to open the menu, type
Check
CC.
mark CC address field.
I could uncheck it so it's hidden. Or if it was if it was hidden and you needed to show it, you could come here. There is no keyword command for CC,
BCC address field command option B.
but BCC has one.
Check mark
So,
CC address field. New message window toolbar.
all right. So when I unchecked that, it messed up our focus. So if we tab,
Embedded Herbie Allen Herbie. To add contacts
there we
button.
go. I'm just continuing to tab.
Subject edit text.
Subject, mail,
Mail.
demo.
Chanel Allen Janellum.allen at gmail.com. Pop-up button.
All right. Here's
Choose
the
which
pop.
address to send this message from.
There we go. Choose which address to send this message from. By default, Mail will choose the best account. But I have several accounts, and Herbie and I often receive the same emails at our different addresses. And I have his accounts on here, so I can whatever. Anyway, so it's important when I reply to a message that, I am able to choose where it's sent from. Or since the majority of my mail goes from one account, I want that to be the default one. So I'm going to press tab.
None. Signature pop-up button.
Signature. In here you could choose one. We'll talk about signatures in a little bit.
Edit text.
And then here we go. We can type a message. I'm not actually going to send this one, but hello,
Comma. New line.
are we
we
having
fun.
yet?
Question mark.
And then I can
New
press
line.
enter. Here's the attachment. I deliberately
Attachment. Period.
misspelt that. Okay, so then we could do, let's go ahead and send an attachment. So you could do the old-fashioned way of going to the menu bar, finding File, and adding attachment. I think it's in File. I honestly don't know. But the best way is
New line.
the following. I'm going to go into my Finder. So I'm going to Command Tab.
Zoom us.
That's Zoom.
Finder. Finder. Desktop.
And I'm on my desktop, my Mac Training. I have an alias to my Mac Training folder. So I'll type MA.
Mac Training alias.
Commando.
Open. Mac Training.
Right arrow to expand the actual Mac Training folder because we're in column
Attendance. Folder.
F
Focus questions.
for questions.
Folder.
Right arrow
List
to
one item
expand.
selected.
Option down arrow to move to the last item.
Lesson 9 Mail Part 2 RTF.
Okay, we'll attach that one. Press return.
Lesson 9 Mail Part 2.
And oh no, I did not want to press
Lesson 9
return.
focus.
Okay, I am so sorry.
Lesson 9
Where's
Mail.
my brain tonight? Anyway,
Rich text.
we do not want to press return. We want to press Command C. I've got to give myself a couple hours, I guess, to transition from Windows to Mac. All right, so Command C.
Copy Lesson 9 Mail Part 2
And
RTF.
now we will go back over to the mail.
Mail. Mail. Mail demo window. Hello. Are we?
So I did Command Tab. And so
Edit text.
I'm just going to make sure I'm at the bottom.
New line.
But it really
New
does
line.
not matter where you paste the attachment. I could put it right up by hello. I could put it at the bottom. It doesn't matter. So I'll do Command V.
Paste.
And if we do the current line command, VOL.
Hey, raise the
it's not
attach.
going to.
Lesson 9 Mail Part 2 RTF attached image.
There we go. So it wasn't reading the current lines. I just did up arrow and down arrow again. And there is the file. It says attached image. It is an actual file. And then, as somebody pointed out, we could do, I think it was Rita, Command Shift D to deliver. Oh, but I forgot about spell check. So we can do that.
Hello.
Just like with text edit, Command semicolon.
Hey, raise the attachment. Selected.
And if we do VOW.
Hey, raise the attachment.
And again.
Tap HERES space T.
So I don't know why it's spelling out the whole thing. VO Shift M.
Menu. Ignore grammar. Look up. Hey, raise the attachment. Search with Google. Ignore grammar. Look up.
All
Search
right.
with Google.
It did
Cult.
not even find the word. So I would know
Hey,
I
raise
have to put
the
that was not a
attachment.
good demo. But anyway, there's an option that you can also specify to have it check your spelling before the message sends. But we're not going to send this. I'm going to do Command W.
Close. In dialog. Alert. Don't
And
save
we're going
button.
to don't save. That
Mailboxes
was the
table.
one in focus. All right. Now let's talk about adding mail accounts. And we do this last. Normally I did that first, but since most of you probably have a mail account set up, it could have already been added by Apple when you purchased your computer,
inbox.
or sometimes the Mac will automatically just add your accounts if you have iCloud enabled, and then sometimes all you need to do is enter a password. There are two areas you can use to add and remove accounts. We will add an account using the mail preferences. However, whenever you want to remove an account, most of the time it will take you to System Preferences and the Internet Accounts category. I'm thinking it has something to do with the fact that when you add email accounts, you often attach other services like calendar, notes, reminders. And so for whatever reason, those all have to be disconnected or removed in System Preferences. It doesn't confirm each service, but it wants you to remove the accounts there. But since we're talking about the Mail app and preferences, we'll just go ahead and add accounts. So I'm going to do Command, comma. As a refresher, that's the command to open any app's preferences.
Preferences. Signatures. Window.
All right, and the last thing I was in signatures. We'll go to the top.
Toolbar.
We have the traditional toolbar, so I'll enter
In
at.
toolbar.
VO home.
General button.
And that's our first category. VO right.
Accounts button.
VO space.
Out of toolbar.
And VO right.
Internet accounts table. UHD exchange.
Here are the accounts that I already have set up.
Chanel IMAP. Herbie IMAP. Herbie Chanel.
All right, so it's saying the name of the account and the protocol or system or method or whatever it is using to deliver and store mail. That's what the protocol is. So what I'm going to do is go to the end because there's options that pertain to these accounts, but we just want to find the new account button. We could also do a VO find, but I'm just going to type VO end
button.
and VO
Button
left.
dimmed. Remove account button dimmed. New account button.
Okay, new account. There we go. And VO space.
In dialog, new account types table. Choose a mail account provider.
All right. This table was being a little bit finicky earlier. Normally I'll just down arrow and space on the one I want, but it was having trouble focusing. So when that happens, interacting might be a good idea. So I'll do that. VO shift
In
down
new
arrow.
account types table. iCloud
And-
radio button.
All right,
Selected.
so iCloud is the first one. Those
iCloud
are
radio
all
button.
Apple things, and you generally don't have to add an iCloud account this way.
Exchange radio button.
Exchange, that's used for work type settings. It's related to Microsoft.
Google radio button.
We want Google, so I'm going to press space.
Selected.
And it is selected. And then I know that the continue button is the default, and I can press enter to activate a default button. So I'll do that now.
Sign in. Google account. 90% loaded.
All right, what happened is it took us to a website. Some accounts, Google, Yahoo, maybe AOL, will take you to the web to enter in your information. Others will add another account, will just have you enter it directly into the mail app. So,
Mac OS button. To continue to.
all
Mac
right.
OS.
I
Button.
just did a VO left to try to get some context. Voiceover is not very good about reading these prompts for adding an account.
Email or phone edit text. One
All right.
password menu available.
So
Press
I will enter the email. This is just a demo
password
account,
locked.
so it's not actually used for anything, but okay.
misspelled. Ibug. G-U-B-I.
Let's see.
Misspelled. Ibug. Period. Misspelled. Ibug Macintalk. Gmail. Period. Hi Chanel. Enter your password. Secure edit text with
All
auto-
right, and I'm asked to enter my password. I am going to press the down arrow key to access my password manager.
Application. Com Apple Local Authentication. Menu. Enter your password. Secure edit text.
All right, and
Webgoogle.com ibug.macintalk at
I'll press
gmail.
enter.
23 characters. To open the autofill menu, press the
And
up or
enter
down
again.
arrow key. Redirecting. Mail. Accounts. Window. Dialog has keyboard focus.
all right, and we're back in. Good, that worked. I was having a little trouble with that this morning. So now we're in a dialogue, and that's real helpful. So we have to figure out what it's asking us. VO left
Google image.
and VO right.
Select the apps you want to use with this account.
So we can select the apps we want to use with this account.
Table.
And here's a table. I'm just going to down
Mail.
arrow.
Check checkbox. Contacts. Uncheck checkbox.
If I wanted to check contacts, I'd press space. And
Calendars. Uncheck checkbox. Notes.
let's say I
Uncheck
wanted to
checkbox.
check notes. So I could just make sure they're checked.
Calendars. Contacts. Uncheck checkbox.
Okay, and they are not. And normally these things check. Voiceover is just being
In table.
finicky for some reason.
Mail.
I think it's Big Sur,
checkbox.
but anyway,
Contacts. Uncheck checkbox.
let's just do VO
Checked.
space
Calendars.
and
Notes. Uncheck checked.
VO space. And there we go. Then we can press enter.
New account button.
And we're back at the new account button. Before we go add the next account, I just want to show you some info that is available to configure for these accounts. I'm going to press VO home,
Toolbar.
VO right,
Internet accounts table. Herbie Chanel iMac.
and let's, I could just press I. No, I can't. Oh, fine.
Ibug.macintalk at gmail.com IMAP.
All right, and I'll VO right.
Account information selected tab 1 of 3.
So the account information tab is selected. That's the info we're about to fill out.
Mailbox behaviors tab 2 of 3.
Mailbox behaviors deal with where messages go, whether drafts, trash, junk, I forget all the categories, whether they stay on the Gmail server or on your Mac.
Server settings tab 3 of
And
3.
server settings are those things, different ports and what we call protocols. Generally, 99% of the time, you won't even need to come into this tab. Just if you're having problems sending and your email provider tells you to come in here, or you read something online about changing the port settings or whatever, then you would. But I'm going to VO right.
Enable this account checked checkbox.
You can enable or, well, disable an account without actually needing to remove it. So sometimes for, let's say, an Exchange account, my password isn't working because the server is down. So I might uncheck, enable this account, rather than removing it and then needing to re-add it.
Status. Online.
All right, it's telling us that the selected account is online.
Available image. Description. Ibug.macandtalk at
All right, and here we will put in something
Content
else.
selected, edit.
I'm just going to put in demo.
Selection replaced. Cap D demo.
And as always, what I type goes over what was already there.
Email address. Chanel Allen Ibug.macandtalk.
All right, and
Pop-up button.
we could then go into this menu,
Menu check mark. Chanel Allen edit email addresses.
and
Ellipsis.
edit email addresses. So I could add in a different name. Sometimes I do that with one of the email accounts I share with Herbie. I make sure my name is in there. You basically have to go into this edit, and then there's an add button, and you're taken into a table. The first thing is the name, and the second time you tab would be the email address, and they'll both edit fields. But I'm not going to
Chanel
do that.
Allen download
So,
attachments. Recent. Pop-up button.
we're just given where you download
Download
attachments
attachments.
into.
Recent. Pop-up button.
I don't know why it was saying downloads earlier, but okay.
Send large attachments with mail drop. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Mail drop is somewhat like Dropbox or iCloud or whatever. You can send a link to the attachment rather than the attachment itself, especially if it's a large file.
New account button.
And here we are at the new account. So this time I'm going to add in my Comcast, and I'll do that by pressing VO space. Okay.
Remove account but new account. In
Try that
dialog.
again.
New account types table. Choose a mail account provider.
And
In
interact.
new account types
VO
table.
down.
Exchange radio. Google radio. Yahoo. AOL radio. Other mail account. Other account radio. Other mail account.
Other is
other
the
account
last
radio
thing
button.
here. I'll VO space.
Selected.
It did not say Comcast. There's nothing for AT&T, but often the Mac will be able to actually find and configure the correct settings just after you enter an email address and password. So
Out of new
I'll
account types
uninteract.
table. Help button. Cancel but continue button. Default.
So continue is the default button,
Email address. Name.
and I'll type in the address.
CHM. CHM Allen. At Comcast. Period. Password. Required. Secure edit text.
Here we're not taken online because this isn't a different type of account, and so I'm being asked to fill in the username and password in the same dialog, and I'll do that now. And I'll press return. And as usual, we're not told about anything, but if we VO left.
Select the apps you want to use with this account.
Okay.
Table.
Select the apps you want to use with this account.
Notes. Checkbox.
We don't want to use notes. So,
Mail. Checkbox.
mail. Okay,
Notes.
that's the only one
Checkbox.
available. So,
In table.
fine.
Notes. Unchecked. Out of table.
This thing has never been so difficult. Okay. Anyway, then I'll press return.
New account button.
And we have the mail accounts. Okay, I realized that I forgot to show you how to actually view attachments. My goodness. So I'm going to, before we go on with preferences, I'm just going to close
Close.
this for
All
now.
inboxes.
And I am
Vertical split mailboxes table. All inbox.
going to find my
Chanel. 18 verticals messages table.
And I'm going to do Command L to filter the messages.
Enable message filter.
Because we only want to find messages with attachments. Oh, maybe. Okay. So then what I would do
Menu bar. Apple.
is go to the view menu.
View. Show tab. Show all. Customized. Sort by. Sub filter.
FI for
Submenu.
filter.
Filter. Submenu. Disable message filter command. L. Include. Dimmed. Check mark.
Include.
Unread.
I don't really care if the message is unread, so we'll press enter to uncheck that.
Unread.
And
Menu
then if
bar,
we go
Apple.
view,
View. Show tab bar. Filter.
Filter.
Submenu. Filter. Include. Dimmed. Unread. Dimmed. Flagged. Dimmed. Address 2. CC. Only mail with attachments. Dimmed. Dimmed.
Okay, and that
Messages.
is dimmed.
Enable
Dear.
message filter.
All right.
Menu bar.
I
Apple.
should not have cleared the
View.
unread thing. So this, in other words, this
View. Show
message
tab bar.
filter is not.
Filter.
I'm
Submenu.
kind of showing you why I don't
Filter.
like it,
Submenu.
because you have
Disable
to come
message
to the
filter.
menu
Command include check mark unread. Flag.
each time.
Address 2. CC. Only mail with attachments. Only mail with attachments. Checked.
Okay.
Empty
So
table.
now we have both with mail and attachments
Menu
and
bar,
unread.
Apple.
So that's kind of a
View.
problem. If you go back to
View.
view,
Show tab bar. Filter.
FI for
Submenu.
filter.
Include dimmed. Check mark unread.
and then we do VO space or
Unread.
enter on unread. There we go.
Cindy
Now
Hollis.
we
Hosting
should
team.
find
Updated hosting schedule. February 28th, 2000.
a message with attachment.
Attachment.
So
Hello hosters.
if I press enter
Hosting team.
and I interact,
Hello.
and then I go to the bottom of the message,
Hosting 2.28.
and I can then do VO Shift M on
Menu.
this file. Down arrow.
Open attachment.
We could open it
Open with ellipsis. Submenu.
or open with
Quick look attachment. Save attachment ellipsis.
and save. And if you go to save,
Save attachment.
It
Index
brings-
save as. Tag.
excuse me, it brings up the typical save dialog. But I already have a copy of this, so I don't need to save
Hello
it. Okay.
hosters.
Another thing
Close.
you can do with attachments, you want to make
Cindy
sure the
Hollis.
message is closed, but that you still have focus on
February
it in the
20
message list, and you can do Command Y,
Quick look attachments. Quick look window. Hosting 2.28 3.6.
and then you can VO right,
Hosting 2.28. In
Actu-
hosting
and
2.28
interact.
3.6 day. Time.
and then we have a version here of the table of this Excel file. You can't
Row
really.
one.
Okay, I guess
Table
it does
7 column.
read the row if you do VOR.
Day. Row 1. Day. Time. Event. Account. Host. Facilitator. Frequency.
Or VOR twice. I don't know if it'll read the column, but you get the idea. So, and I don't think you can do things like define headers for the titles or anything like that, but you at least get a chance to look at an attachment. If you're viewing a Word file, you won't be able to use just up and down arrow. You'll have to use VO right and VO left. Kind of like viewing content in Safari. Because the file doesn't open in full or some other reason, you're not able to actually review it like you would if it was an actual open file.
Table. Out of
We get
hosting
out of the
2.20.
table.
Open with Microsoft Excel button.
To the left, it says open with Microsoft Excel. So that's the ideal way to view the attachment. But let's say you get just tons of, I don't know, images or PDFs or whatever, and you want to know if they have text. A way to find that out might be the quick look without necessarily needing to download all of the attachments. All right, I'm going to press Command
Quick
Y.
look attachments. Inbox.
So we get out
Chanel.
of that.
Filter.
All right, let's return to, and I'm
Cindy
going to
Hollis.
disable the
Hosting team.
filter.
Updated. Disable message filter.
And I'm going to return to Preferences with Command. So I press Command L to disable the filter, Command comma to go back to
Preferences.
Preferences.
Accounts. Window. Toolbar.
And let's
In
interact.
tools. General button.
So the first option here is General.
Out of
There's a
toolbar.
couple important things to know.
Default email reader. Mail app. Pop-up button.
I don't know why you would want to change the default email reader. Maybe if you use a different, if you have Outlook on here or some other mail program.
Check for new messages. Automatically. Pop-up button.
Okay, you can specify the interval for checking for messages.
Menu check mark. Automatically. Every minute. Every 5 minutes. Every 15 minutes. Every 30 minutes. Every hour. Manually.
Or manually.
Check mark.
All right.
Automatically. New messages sound. New messages sound. Pop-up button.
You can choose a
Menu
number
check
of
mark.
sounds
New
in
message.
here.
Boop. Breeze. Bubble. Breeze.
And then it'll play the sound if I was to press enter on it.
Breeze. Pop-up button.
I'm
Menu
gonna
check
go
mark.
Put it back to
Boop.
new mail.
New messages sound. New messages sound.
There we go. If I VO right,
Play sounds for other mail actions. Checked. Checkbox.
you can check or uncheck
Stop
that.
unread count. All mailboxes. Pop-up button.
All right, doc unread count.
Doc unread. All mailboxes. Pop-up button.
I don't really want it for all mailboxes. So this is in the doc. It would actually show you, I guess, how many messages are unread, and you can choose
Menu
that
check
for
mark. Inbox only.
inbox only
Check mark. All mailboxes.
or all mailboxes.
Inbox only.
I think I would just do inbox only.
Inbox only. Pop-up
I don't
button.
really think it affects what we hear as voiceover users. But I don't need to know the unread count for everything.
New message notifications. Inbox only. Pop-up button.
Okay, here is, you can
Menu check
choose
mark.
which mailboxes give you New message notifications. If you want them off altogether, you'll need to go into System Preferences and Notifications.
Bips.
So you could have the notifications for VIP,
Contacts.
contacts,
All mailboxes.
all mailboxes,
Check mark. Inbox
or
only.
just your inbox.
Downloads folder. Downloads. Pop-up button.
All right, downloads folder. Downloads.
Remove unedited downloads. After message is deleted. Pop-up button.
I'm not really sure what that does. I always just download anything I need to have downloaded into its own folder. But
Menu
your
check
other
mark.
options
After
are.
message is deleted. Never. When mail quits. Check mark. After message is deleted.
All right.
After message is deleted.
So when mail quits or never.
Archive or delete muted messages. Unchecked. Automatically try sending later if outgoing server is unavailable. Checked. Checkbox.
I think this may be unchecked by default. I'm not sure, but it's a good one to make sure that's checked. That way, if you're having problems sending, it will keep retrying.
Prefer opening messages in split view when in full screen. Unchecked. Checkbox.
That's just visual.
When searching all mailboxes, include results from.
Okay, when searching all mailboxes. So when that all mailboxes is selected, here are things it can include.
Trash. Checked. Checkbox.
I have all of these checked.
Junk. Checked. Checkbox. Encrypted messages. Checked. Checkbox. Help button.
All right, and then that is the end of the general category. We'll go back to the toolbar.
Toolbar. In toolbar.
Interact.
8 items. General. Accounts button.
Accounts, we were just there.
Junk mail button.
Junk mail. So I'm not really going to show you the junk mail thing. It's good if your service does not have its own junk mail folder, or maybe you're using iCloud and so you'd want to set up the filter for that. You can basically enable the filter, customize like add senders to things, and you can mark messages as junk from within the mailbox or from within the message. So,
Fonts and colors button.
fonts and colors, this is just how messages are displayed and the font that you use when composing a message.
Viewing button.
Viewing. All
Out
right.
of toolbar. List preview. 5 lines. Pop-up button.
All right, no matter what I set this list preview to, when used column layout is unchecked, VoiceOver still reads the same amount of information. I think this is entirely visual. And just as a reminder, when you use the VOJ method of going to things and your use column layout is checked, you're still not going to hear the preview. Of course, you could do VOJ to move into the message, but also when that pane is expanded, your messages are automatically going to be marked as read. And so I don't like the VOJ method because I can't as easily read through line by line and word by word if I need to. But it's great, if you just want to casually look at messages, which most of the time is that's only what's needed. But anyway, let's move on. So no matter what you set in the preview, what VoiceOver reads is not going to be affected.
Move discarded messages into archive. Pop-up button.
All right, so you can move discarded
Menu check
messages
mark,
into
archive,
archive
trash.
or trash.
Archive. Show message headers. Default. Pop-up button.
These are the message headers like from, to, CC,
Menu custom ellipsis.
custom, you.
Check mark. Default.
I've found that a little bit harder to customize. I don't use it.
Default. Display unread messages with bold font. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Again, this is not going to affect display unread messages with bold font, will not affect how VoiceOver identifies unread messages.
Load remote content and messages. Checked. Checkbox.
If you are concerned about images or links or whatever, you could turn this off.
Email messages may contain images or content stored on remote servers. Use smart addresses. Unchecked. Checkbox. Turn this off to always display names and addresses.
All right, I just like use, you have a similar option in Safari, and I like to be able to view the entire name and email address.
Use dark backgrounds for messages. Checked. Checkbox.
That really doesn't matter.
View conversations. Highlight messages with color when not grouped. Unchecked. Dim gray. Use the view menu to group messages by conversation. Include related messages. Checked. Mark all messages as read when opening a conversation. Checked. Checkbox.
All right, so when I open the thread, immediately all the messages are marked as read, which is kind of useful, I think, especially if a thread contains like 20 items or even 10, and you, after the first one or two, you're not interested. but then you could just delete it.
Show most recent message at the top. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Okay, show most recent message at the top. So for normal messages, you would just go into the view menu as we did last week and go into sort. But if you're wanting to view threads, you could check or uncheck this box to have the most recent messages shown at the top or not.
Help button.
All right,
Toolbar.
let's go
In
on.
toolbar. 8 items. Composing button.
Composing, here we go.
Out of toolbar. Composing. Rich text. Message format. Pop-up button.
You can choose
Menu
rich
check mark.
text
Rich plain text. Check mark. Rich text.
or plain text.
Rich text. Message
Rich
format.
text, remember, will be able to contain links, images, files, things like that. Well, actually, you could attach something in a plain text thing as well, but rich text is what most emails are written in these days, that or HTML.
When I click send. Check spelling. Pop-up button.
All right, so you can check spelling either when
Menu
I click
check
send,
mark. When I click send.
which is sometimes a good idea because I do forget.
Never.
Never.
As I type.
Or I prefer, I'll just set it back to as I type. So
As I
press
type.
enter.
Check spelling. Automatically. Unchecked. CC. Pop-up button.
If you're worried about whether your message gets delivered, you could automatically CC yourself.
Myself. Addressing. When sending to a group, show all member addresses. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Okay, when addressing to a group, show all member addresses. This option used to behave when it was unchecked. Then it would just show the group name. Let's say I actually created a group in my contacts called Ibug Mac Training. So then when I sent the email, it would just show that name and not all of your email addresses. Well, that doesn't seem to work anymore. It might show the group name, but then if you throw space on it, it does show the addresses. So the way to ensure your recipients remain anonymous is just to put everybody in the BCC field.
Mark addresses not ending with unchecked. Domain at example.chanel@gmail.com. Send new messages from pop-up button.
All right, so I've chosen my default
Menu
account.
check mark. Chanel Allen
But you may prefer
automatically select Chanel. Automatically select best account.
automatically select best account, and I got to that by pressing up arrow. But I think that would be the default setting, and if I continue on in the menu, I see all my other accounts.
Chanel Allen responding. Use the same message format as the original message. Checked. Checkbox.
All right.
Respond using rich all plain quote the text of the original message. Checked. Increase quote level. Checked. When quoting text in replies or forwards. Include all of the original message text. Radio button. Include selected text, if any. Otherwise include all text. Select help button. Help
All
button.
right, there we go.
Toolbar.
So
In
we
toolbar.
just have
8
one more
items.
thing.
Composing button. Signatures button.
All right, signatures.
Rules button.
I'm not going to cover rules. Why I don't use rules on my Mac? Because those don't transfer to other devices. So what I like to do is set up what are called filters on my Gmail account. So all messages from, let's say, the Orbit Braille display list go into a Braille folder, and a few other Braille lists, or messages about from technology lists. Well, I used to have this Apple filter for a bunch of Apple things from a list I was on, but that got full quickly, so I just decided most of the messages I deal with now. But at least when I use those filters, no matter where I check my email, whether it's on the Gmail website or on Windows or on my Mac or my iPhone, the messages will already be filtered. So there is no need for rules. All right, let's return to signatures.
Signatures button.
VO space. And I will
Out of
direct.
toolbar. Signatures table. Row 1 of 10. All signatures. Selected.
Okay, in addition to all signatures, this shows all of your accounts
iCloud.
that you might have on your added to mail.
Chanel. Herbie 9 UA 9 demo. Comcast.
All right, so we've got lots of accounts. What is easiest is to find the account where you would like to add the signature.
All signatures. iCloud.
So I'm going to go back
Chanel.
to Chanel and then add that signature. And that way, you don't have to drag it from all signatures to the appropriate account. I think the signature will still be available in all of your accounts, but I'm not sure. So anyway, it's just easier to create it in the account. All right.
Vertical splitter. Names empty. Table.
So it's empty, and we'll find the add
Vertical
button.
splitter. Text.
All right, so that would be the text that would actually go in the
Add
signature.
button.
And here's the add button, so I'll VO space.
Signature number 5. Content selected.
All right, I wish it would not keep numbering them because I've deleted so many, but I'm just going to type in the
Selection
word
replaced.
Ibug,
I.
and then I'm
Ibug.
going to
Ibug.
VO shift up
Out
arrow
of names. Table.
and VO right. I could have just done VO
Vertical
J.
splitter. Chanel Allen. Janellum.allen@gmail.com. Edit text. Chanel Allen.
All right, and I could
Chanel Allen.
what I might choose to do is go into text edit and format something. Maybe I want my name centered, and then below that, I don't know, my email or my title centered, and then below that, the website and all of that underneath on the left. I have no idea how a signature is supposed to look visually, but I don't know. You can technically press the center command here in Mail, but I don't know if it actually works. So you might find it easier, or if you don't really care how the things are aligned, you just want the information in here, you could type it in. So
Chanel Allen.
I could
Allen.
go to the end of the line with command right arrow, and then I could type in
New line.
or press return, type in Ibug today,
Ibug.
and then
Today.
the email address is
Janellum.
below that. All right, if we
Out of.
uninteract
Chanel
and
Allen.
move right,
Ibug. Add button.
we can add another signature,
Remove button.
remove, which we'll do in a minute.
Always match my default message font. Checked. Checkbox.
And here are things you can customize for the signatures. Always match your font. Maybe you want your signature in a bigger font, so you want your name to be bold and 20 point or something. I don't know. So you would want to have this unchecked.
None. Choose signature. Pop-up button.
When messages send, you can choose a signature
Menu check
that
mark.
goes out automatically by default.
At random.
Oh, at random?
In sequential order. Check
No.
mark. None.
Okay, so sometimes people may have quotes or different things as their signatures, and you can
None.
then you could just choose which one gets sent out, apparently.
Place signature above quoted text. Checked. Checkbox. Help button.
All right, that's all there is for the
Place
signature.
none. Choose signature. Always match my default message font. Unchecked.
If I unchecked, always match my font.
None. Choose place signature above help button. Help. Place none.
Okay, I guess
Always
we
match
don't
remove
get
button.
an option to choose the font here. So, that way you could change the font either in text edit or as I think you could change it in here as you're writing the signature. I'm not sure,
Add
but
button.
I'm going to go ahead and
Remove
remove
button.
the signature. So VO
Add button.
space,
Text.
and if we go,
New line. New line.
the text
Vertical
is
splitter.
empty,
Names empty. Table.
and the table is empty. All right. So
Close. Inbox. Chanel.
that is pretty much it
Safari.
for
Safari.
Mail. Oh, I don't. Okay, let me make sure.
Mail. Inbox. Finder. Zoom us. Zoom.
All right, I am going to stop the share and open it up to questions if you have any.
This is Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy.
So when you go up to search, there's a like a menu bar up under it. Is that a visual? So like where you go to move to or label when you've created files? Does that make sense?
Maybe. I think, is that part of the toolbar?
It's not part of the main one at the top, but it's just above the messages, but under search where you, like if you wanted
Okay.
to check a lot of messages to delete, and then there's a delete button up there. Is that a visual?
Oh, okay. So what you would do is just, press like Command A if you want to select all the messages that have been found by the search, and then delete, the delete key, or you could go through and select individual messages. So yeah, I don't know how you would get to that. Maybe you could go into the message menu and then go to delete, or find the delete in the toolbar, but I don't know why you'd want to do that when you could just press the delete key. Does
Right.
anyone else want to chime in if there's something about the question I'm not quite following?
This is Nancy.
Yeah, Nancy, go ahead.
So I got some help from Apple Tech support a
Mhm.
while back, and they showed me a way to select the from option of the email address. Let's say I'll give an example like top tech tidbits,
Right.
and I have top tech for the last 5 years, and so I can put that in the search box and then select it to find all of them, and I do the command A like you were saying, and then do command delete, and it
Right.
deletes all of them, and
That
that's a great way to clean out your
right, that would
Oh
permanently
my
delete.
gosh.
But all
Yeah.
you'd have to do is type that in the search field. If you did Command Option F, or are you saying they showed you a different
Yeah,
way?
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying is if you find like the address from top tech tidbits and put that in search, and
Mhm.
then find that stop interacting with the toolbar and then go into the messages, you can
Right.
select them all
Right.
and then delete them. It's
Yeah, well, we did not need to interact with the toolbar, but there could be more options there if you do. But we just did, directly Command Option F. And yeah, that's definitely one way if you're able to narrow it down further. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is Rosanna.
Uh huh.
When you did the search,
Mm-hmm.
the command option F,
Yes.
and you put in the name in the search field, you
Mm-hmm.
did enter at that
Mm-hmm.
point. I lost you after that. Do you have to go into the favorites in order to get that list of the hits, the top hits
No,
at that point?
you only need to go to the favorites if you want to search all mailboxes.
Ah, okay. But if you're in the same mailbox and you do enter, how would you get the list?
You just do VOJ a few times.
Okay, VOJ, and then
Yep.
okay. Okay, and then
And
you
then it'd
can
be a
just
normal
click on it.
message list that you would just arrow around in. And
Okay. I was
yep,
like, whoa, how did she do that?
yep.
And the other question I had too is for the spell check.
Uh-huh.
When you did that spell check in mail, did you do command option home first, or does it matter where you are in the document or in
I
the
don't
email?
know. I think it's better to do command up arrow, but I honestly haven't I don't know. I just automatically do it because I
Okay.
do. But yeah.
But if you did like on mine, it
Mhm.
tells me the word is misspelled as I'm typing.
Right.
How do you go back and correct it? Do you have to go back into spell check to do that, or can you just backspace and correct it?
You can, if you want a backspace, it's up to you. I don't know, if you have autocorrect on, it's going
That I
to.
do.
Oh, okay. Then which I don't like, but what you want to do is if you want the autocorrect suggestions, you will want to make sure you press the left arrow to kind of go into the space
Mhm.
after the word, and then I think you'll get the autocorrect suggestions. You can down arrow to get the suggestions.
Oh, I was wondering how to get that. Okay.
I don't use it, and I've always found it a bit finicky.
It
That's
is
kind of
finicky.
that's the way to kind of do it, but again, you have to play with it, so I just recommend people turning that off, but you certainly don't need to.
Well, actually, now that I know how to do the spell check, I can. I just didn't know how to do the spell check itself, so I was using it as a way of
Right.
correcting as
That
I
makes
type.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much,
Uh-huh.
this is Nancy. Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have two questions. One is where was that preference to check to use mail drop? I didn't know that you had to check that.
I don't know if it's checked by default. That is in, I want to say that's general or composing.
Okay. I'll look for it in one of those places.
Yep.
Yeah, because people have had trouble. Like, how come that doesn't show up for me? And I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. It shows up for me when I want to send a big message.
Okay.
But now I'll at least know to tell them to look for that. And is there, you seem to be very familiar with Gmail. Is there a way to when setting up a Gmail account so that it won't create this, put everything in this important box that it created?
Oh, did it create that? So you would want to actually go on the Gmail website and remove that label. A lot of the
Okay.
customization with Gmail I have done is on the website, and you may want to use the basic HTML view, although in that view, I'm not sure that the important and some other like promotions and different things that they have show up. So I'm surprised that that came up the in the Mac, unless you've created your own important folder.
I
But
didn't. And I
okay.
was so frustrated because I've been deleting a bunch of messages, and all of a sudden I went to this important. Like, what is this? And there is like 900 messages in there, and I'm like, where did
Right.
that come from? I get so mad at it. It's like, no, I'm trying to clean these out.
Yeah, I think maybe you did delete them. Well, at least, so the thing with labels is on the Gmail website, they're more like tags. So, you know how you can tag things, you've talked about tagging things in VoiceStream or tagging things. So on the Gmail website, they serve more as tags. And so you could apply multiple labels to one item. I'm not quite sure how you do that, but I've heard that you can. Whereas in these mail apps like Mac Mail and Outlook, they serve more like folders. And so it's kind of I had to, you just might want to double check on best settings for Gmail on the Mac, or, I think I went through, Googled that a while back, or, you could call Apple, but I would just call it regular tech support to see if they know. But yeah, does anybody have any Gmail suggestions, Herbie or anyone else? No? All right. All right. Are
This
there
is
any?
Marion.
Oh,
Are we
yes,
out of
Marion.
time, or can I ask a quick question?
No, go ahead. I'm here as long as you need.
Oh, thank you. I use search a lot on my phone in the mail app. And so it has a different thing for like sender or subject or
Right.
and so on the OS, when I do a search, is it going to search through the body of the email, the sender, the subject, and give you up anything that has that search term anywhere in the email?
Yes. Like I said, you can down arrow and do things like subject contains or whatever, but it sounds
I'm
like
sorry, I missed that.
From what Nancy said, you could also use the toolbar to make those selections.
To narrow it. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Okay.
No, that's okay. That's fine. All right. Are there any other questions?
Everybody's so quiet.
I know.
Amazing. Gosh. It's hard to
I know. So we must all be must all be experts then, huh? Okay.
Or totally confused, which I hope not.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
So this is Herbie. So with Gmail on the Mac, I just use the mail client.
Yeah.
I've never really tried the website itself on the Mac, but
Well, Nancy was saying that she has this important folder that's gotten onto her Mac, and it contains all these messages that she thought
yeah,
she
that's a
I
deleted.
Gmail
thought I
thing.
deleted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a Gmail thing because they do that to. I've seen
I
that too.
See, I've not seen that. I think I've hidden it. I found a way. I think I used their regular site and hid that thing.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I
this
like to
is
Well, if
play
you
around
Dorothy.
with
can tell me
things.
how to hide it, if you can tell me how to hide it, I'd love it.
Yeah, I just figured it out. I don't know. I could try to come up with some suggestions or directions. Go ahead, Dorothy.
I was just gonna say that happened to me too, and so I didn't know how I did it, but that happened to me too.
Where you were able to hide it?
I I don't know that what they did to it. Ended up calling Apple, but it actually even changed my what my email address was announcing before.
Huh.
So I can't
Interesting.
remember what she did. Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
wrote it somewhere, but of course, hey, who knows where that's at.
That's okay. As long as it worked for you and it helped you in the moment, that's all that matters. All right. Well, any final class questions for the last lesson? I mean, we'll still have Mac and Talk, and I hope you will continue to come to Mac and Talk. But do we, any
I
final
Well,
have
Chanel,
one
thoughts?
more.
I just wanted to say I don't know how to begin to thank you
Aw,
for all of the time and effort and energy and kindness and patience you put in to
oh,
do this for us. Seriously, it
aw,
just it's
thank you.
amazing, and I appreciate it and you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
this
third
is
happy to
time's a
do it.
charm. I'm excited to be in class and get me
Mhm.
Mac immersion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll get
yeah.
better at this.
Yeah, this is Dorothy. I've enjoyed it too, and I have learned some things, and I know that have the recordings to go back and,
Yep.
you know, and finish, going over things that I need to. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I've been passing the website on to everybody that I know is
Aw.
blind and need help, and the but what I did not know is if iBug does Windows or just iOS and Mac.
We
If
just do iOS and Mac, and we
Okay.
have one Android call. But yeah, we don't do Windows as of yet. I use Windows. I'm actually more of a Windows user than a Mac user. But we don't do it for iBug.
Okay. Okay. And then I have one crazy question.
Hmm.
What does the VOJ do? I missed that somewhere, and I've just been saying, what is it about that VOJ?
So VOJ stands for jump. So if you think of VO jump, and that basically jumps you from one content area to another. So it can jump you from the toolbar to tables to basically the different sections of a window.
Okay. All right. I
Yep.
got it.
Hmm.
All right.
All right.
Well, thanks again, Chanel. This was great.
Yeah.
Oh, and Herbie too. Both of you
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Sandhya who
Yeah.
couldn't be
Yes.
here. I feel so pampered and spoiled, with this
Aw,
small group and all the time and attention. So thank you.
great. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming all the time, everybody, and for your commitment. And if you'd like to just send a little bit of feedback either to me or to the list about, your thoughts about the class, the length, the content, what you liked, what could be better, that type of thing, we would greatly appreciate it.
And don't forget to please keep joining us for our monthly Mac and Talk the fourth Tuesday, where
Yes, definitely
you
join us for
can.
that.
And even if you don't have questions, you never know what you will learn from other people's questions.
And it
So-
might even trigger questions in your own mind. Sometimes that happens with the iOS calls. It's like, oh, I don't think I have a question. And somebody asks about such and such. Oh, I guess I do have a question. Or, oh, I forgot
And
about
one way
that.
to and one way to build your confidence is the ability to answer questions as well. So.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And speaking of questions, Chanel, the focus question, your syllabus,
Oh,
excellently written,
yes.
with the links embedded for the articles. I
Yes.
really liked how you cited that. And the focus questions really do make you focus, on what was
Okay.
taught,
Yeah.
So I
Awesome.
like that format.
Good. Good. I'm
That was
glad.
super helpful with our little study group that we had, that we used them every
Definitely.
week. It was very
Awesome.
helpful.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you.
Well, if you can just write that up in some emails, that'll be great. And that way we have it for our records. But this is also being on it for our record too. So thank you so much.
So Jason,
Yes, Jason.
Thank you. Oh yeah.
I was curious. Do you know if there's any like app specific, like if you wanted to be like a more power user of numbers?
Ooh. Ooh, I don't know. I think VoiceOver has a topic about, or there is a topic online about VoiceOver numbers. But I don't. I think so. There are other Mac lists out there, Mac lists for the blind. So
Okay.
I would just definitely, check that out as well. And
We're uh,
go
we're
ahead.
doing a session on numbers with the iPad class with TTJ coming
Right.
up.
Yep. Okay. Great.
And
Jason, if
also,
you want to send
Jason,
me an
there
email.
there's something that John Panarese refers to, let's go, or getting to take control. I think it's the take
Yeah.
control books. And
.com. Yep.
yeah, takecontrol.com. And they have different books on different apps if you wanted to look and see if there was a numbers one.
I think
They're
that
not
you're
voiceover. Yeah, they're not voiceover specific, but apparently they do describe things fairly well. Those books are at a cost, so they're not free, but it's takecontrolbooks.com.
Okay. Huh.
And this is Herbie. I just want to say that part of the problem is, and I think this is why TTJ is teaching numbers from like an iPad perspective and not a Mac perspective, is that voiceover, it's great for a lot of things, but that's one area where it does lag on, is being able to more accessibly read stuff written in the numbers app in terms of having column titles and things like that. So
You can identify header rows and column but it's just not. I have not found it the most accessible, but then I don't use numbers or Excel on a regular. Right now, I look at like spreadsheets every week for my ACB community hosting, but I don't actually have to edit in those spreadsheets or whatever. So
Yeah, and I have found just doing very simple number sheets, like I guess like a positive to the numbers is it will announce it almost treats the first column as a header. And so if I'm going down, it will like if I'm a couple columns over, it announces that first column title, and then so it kind of gives you some both that first column and then the first row.
right.
It gives me some feedback. I don't get that with JAWS on Excel.
But I know how to make it even better for JAWS, but that's beyond because
Yeah.
you can identify. So, I
This is
believe
Herbie.
on the. Okay, hold on. I believe on. I'm the instructor. I believe on the Mac and numbers, you can actually do what's called freeze header rows or freeze header columns so that they are, you can identify more than one column as a header. So that might help. And then
Okay.
with JAWS, if you just, you can also, I do it all the time when I'm reading spreadsheets. I'll define, like one column is something I always want to hear when I'm, moving into other columns, and I can choose that column or whatever. So there's it's it's the best, I feel like, for dealing with sheets, but and number or with spreadsheets. Anyway, Herbie, go ahead.
I just wanted to remind everybody that this would be a great Macintalk question
I
next
know, I
week.
was gonna say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because somebody else might, because really, you have people that come on Mac and Talk that might have different areas of expertise on the Mac. I kind of teach the basics, so I have to know a little bit about everything, but I don't necessarily specialize in one particular area other than just making sure people understand the ins and outs of voiceover. But maybe there are certain tricks that can be used in numbers or a combination of tricks, and I may not be aware of that combination or of certain features in numbers that might even help themselves with making things accessible. So that's why it's very valuable to come to Mac and Talk, and just
This is
see what other
Nancy.
people have to say. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yesterday we were doing a Mac Cafe call, and I had asked a question, and somebody on the call heard me out. They
You're
texted me
breaking up
later
a
and
bit.
said, "Hey, I know somebody who can teach this, this, and this."
Right.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah.
So you
Anyway,
were,
just the networking.
right.
It
I
was just nice
understand. And
to get.
yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily want to advertise. I've already talked too much about Jaws, but just know there are other resources out there as well. We're certainly not the only one. We want to be your first choice for everything, but there are other, no one can specialize in everything. So it's where you have to kind of look around and search and all that good stuff. Network with other people.
Well, this has been a fantastic foundation, so I
Oh,
appreciate that.
good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Gave
Very
me the confidence to
methodical.
open my notebook.
Oh, good. Good. All right.
Thanks again, you
All right.
guys. It was good getting
Yeah.
to know everybody
Yeah.
else
You
too.
too, and show up for Mac and Talk next week. That's still technically the last class, and we want to see you at every other
Absolutely.
Mac and Talk. So,
Oh, thank you. You will.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
All
Bye,
right.
you
Awesome.
guys.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let me stop.